Today we're doing a rundown of the top 10 wishlisted games on Steam. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. At number 10 we have Resident Evil Village. It's been around 4 years in the making and the release date has been put back a few times already. You will play as Ethan Winters, with Chris Redfield making a return, kidnapping you and taking you to a mysterious village that looks like it could be straight out of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Alongside the usual horrific creatures in the Resident Evil series, we're going to have werewolves and vampires to deal with. The game is looking to take inspiration from Resident Evil 4 to create a balance of combat, exploring and puzzle solving. Unfortunately, co-op looks like it's not going to be included, so you'll be facing this nightmare on your own. It does feature a 6-player multiplayer deathmatch, though I doubt that was on anyone's list of things they wanted in the game. Despite delays, it's scheduled for release May 7th. It's going to be coming out on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. Personally, I can't wait, though I was hoping for co-op, as I get scared easily on my own. At number 9 we have Warhammer 3. I've always loved the Total War games since their inception. I missed Warhammer 1 and own 2, but I've still not played it. This time the game is based on the Chaos factions. There will be 6 factions in total, and 4 of these are going to be Chaos factions. On the Chaos side we have the Great Unclean One, Nurgle. We have the Keeper of Secrets, Slanesh, the Lord of Change, Zinj, and Khorne, the Blood God. For the human factions, you have the Kislev Kingdom, the realm of the Ice Queen. This faction is based on historical Slavic forces. At this point in time, there's nearly no information about what units each faction will field, but from the video we can see polar bear riders in the Kislev forces. The Cathayan Empire, based on Imperial China, little is known about this faction. However, from gameplay we can assume that they'll make use of gunpowder, with Cathayan rocket batteries being part of the lore. There is also another faction that will be available to early adopters, those that pre-purchased the game. Early rumours suggest that this will be Ogre Kingdoms, or Chaos Dwarves. There are so few details known about the game, there's little more to say. The only thing to note is that the campaign map is supposed to be twice that of the Eye of the Vortex campaign from Warhammer 2. Hopefully in the coming months there'll be more details come out about the game, so we'll have a better idea of what new features it may have. At number 8 we have Kerbal Space Program 2. Jebediah Kerman is coming back for this sequel, and it's promising to be a big improvement on the original. It was originally meant to be released last year, however there was a change in the development team, so the release is now scheduled for 2022. One of the biggest complaints with the original game was that it was very complicated. I know this myself, as I've still not been able to land on the Mun successfully. I've had a few crash landings where my Kermanor survives, but the ship didn't. Apparently they're going to be putting a big emphasis on tutorials to aid new players to the game. This time round it looks like we're going to have multiplayer, so you won't be alone in space. There will be the capability to start colonies on other planets, with resource gathering to build structures, space stations, and eventually you'll be able to build vehicles there, allowing you to have a staging base for deep space exploration. Interstellar travel is also going to be in the game, paving the way to discover new solar systems. With all that, I better get back to practicing my Mun landings if I'm going to have any chance with this new game. I keep meaning to go back to the first game, and now I definitely will, because I'm really excited about this one. At number 7 we have BIOMUTANT, a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable. I'll be honest, I'd never heard of this game, so knew nothing about it. It's been in development for around 4 years and it's going to be an open world action role-playing game. You play a small mammal, which you'll supposedly be able to customise quite a lot. Depending on how you design your creature will affect its abilities in game. A heavy character will be slower but will do more damage and be able to resist more damage. While playing the game, you'll be able to further modify your characters with cyborg-like body parts, like robot legs or wings. These in turn may allow you to visit other parts of the world that were previously not accessible to you. Combat is going to be mixed between melee, shooting and using mutant abilities. You'll be able to create and modify your own guns and equipment, and you can learn new kung fu moves as you travel the world. The storyline is supposed to be branching, so the decisions you make will affect your game and how it plays out, with the ability to have companions who also react differently to you depending on the decisions you make. The game is scheduled for a release May 25th. It will come out on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. At number 6 we have New World, an MMO that's been produced by Amazon, which is a bit strange to start with. New World takes place in the Eternal Isle at Turnham, where you'll be able to fight other players or team up with friends for some PvE. Crafting will be a major feature. If you wish you can play as a trader or a craftsman. You'll be able to travel into the forests and mountains of Eternum, hunting wild dangerous creatures for food and resources, which you can then use to craft equipment. The game appears to be set around the 16th century, though it combines muskets, swords and spellcasting all in one. Rather than having classes like in other MMO games, skills evolve around the weapons you choose to use. Keep wielding the same weapon and eventually you'll become a master, unlocking new abilities. In combat you have an energy bar which will drop as you strike at your opponent, dodge or block their attacks. This is something you'll have to balance. There was a closed beta which featured a 50 versus 50 fortress siege with large siege weapons and boiling oil. MMOs are a tricky one, so many have promised so much and failed to deliver. Let's see whether Amazon are up to the task, with New World being due to release August 21st. At number 5 we have Humankind. Taking on Sid Meier's mighty civilization will be no easy task. To start with, the maps stand out with beautiful looking landscapes that are an instant improvement on the most recent Civilization games. Culture is going to play a big part in the development of your people. At the end of each era, prehistoric for example, you choose from a list of 10 culture types to guide you through the next era. Culture will be influenced by your neighbours and also by invading empires. Some cultures may place emphasis on trade or empire building. All of these will affect the architectural design of your cities, which will change over the ages, showing the different paths you chose. City building will be the biggest difference from players of Civ, where cities can expand and spread over entire continents, and no two cities will look the same. Humankind will be released on the 22nd of April, and it'll be good to see some competition finally for Civilization. At number 4 we have Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. You will play as a thin blood, a newly turned vampire with weak powers. When creating your character you can choose from 3 disciplines. These abilities can allow you to glide through the air or summon bats to attack for you, the ability to levitate objects and people, or the power to summon a phantom mist which can conceal you from view or allow you to transform into the mist to pass through small spaces. During the game you'll have the option to join different vampire clans, which all have distinctive traits and abilities. On top of this there are factions, with 5 different groups to choose from. You'll have the Kerbal faction, made up of the wealthy elite, full-blood vampires, or there is the underworld, led by the little seen Baron, who offers shady work to thin-bloods, ghouls and humans. For combat there will be a wide range of melee weapons and firearms to choose from, not forgetting that you are a vampire, so you'll have your powers and fangs at your disposal. If you're seen killing innocent people, the humans can become scared and will stop venturing out at night, and instead the other vampires will begin to hunt you. If you don't feed, you'll become insane, nothing more than a mindless beast, so choose your targets wisely. I'll be watching this closely once it releases, however the date is still to be announced, though it's meant to be this year. At number 3, Hornet is making a comeback in Hollow Knight Silksong. The original was an instant hit, which is good to see for an indie game. There are not many great 2D platformers that sell well nowadays. The sequel has been in the works for around 2 years and is promising to be more intense than the original. There will be over 150 new enemies to fight, and plenty of new abilities to make use of. Taking place in the Kingdom of Farloom, the player must follow Hornet as she tries to reach the Citadel. Battling through an expansive world, there will be new quests for the player to complete to earn abilities. Instead of the magical powers from the first game, Hornet is coming back faster, stronger, and with the ability to climb ledges. This time round, the game will concentrate more on physical attacks. You'll be able to craft new weapons from fallen enemies, like an exploding pin pillow bomb, which causes damage over a large area, or pins you can launch at your enemies to hit them from distance. There will also be plenty of NPC characters to assist you along the way, with rideable creatures featuring in the trailer. There is no definite release date yet, though it's supposed to be this year. At number 2 we have Party Animals. Now this game is one you definitely want to play with your friends. I watched PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye play this and it was hilarious. You play as one of 11 cute, fluffy looking animals and your job is to stop the other players from achieving their goals. You can do battle with tasers, bats, frying pans and a whole host of other weapons. A lot of what I've seen is just absolute chaos, with teddy bears doing flying kicks into rabbits, cats and dogs having fist fights till one of them's KO'd. It's just absolute mayhem. I missed the demo, but it's something that I'll definitely pick up when it's released. Still no date yet though, but I'm hoping it should be soon, maybe around summer. Finally, at number 1 we have Dying Light 2. Rumours have been swirling about it being delayed indefinitely, however that is not the case. The developers came out and asked for patience on March the 18th, and showed this beginning game clip that has not been seen before. This time around they're going for a new player, the zombies. Ones that have only just turned will appear somewhat human. They'll be fast and very dangerous. After a while they turn into the usual generic slow moving biting zombies. Any zombies that stay in the sun for prolonged periods become degenerates, very slow moving and not much of a threat. But when the night comes it's a different story. Here you can have the volatiles, the super predators. When these guys turn up, it's time to run. Choices are going to matter, they will shape the world around you. There are going to be multiple decisions you make in game that will change the very world you exist in. This was demonstrated in a mission where you had to either work with or kill 2 brothers who had control of the water supply. If you chose to work with them, then the city and those that live among it suffered, with more malevolent groups moving in to take advantage of the situation. If you killed them, then the city became greener with farms and windmills, improving the life for everyone, and giving you a readily accessible water source. When is it going to be released? We don't know, but it's not delayed indefinitely, that much we do know. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what games you have on your wish lists. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you like the video and want to see more.